I'll go ahead and get started. My name is Jim Lee. I'm with simpleQuE. And as the attendance shows, you're all interested in artificial intelligence as it applies to distributors and the quality management systems. So for me, in this presentation, we're focusing on the QMS side of things. So with AI, you would think I'm an AI expert giving this speech, but this is not me. I am a user, I am a thought leader, and we are implementing AI tools within our company to be more effective and more efficient. The tools that I use for AI, the chat bots, the free tools, using it in my home with my photography, manipulating photos digitally, and then for the company with our website and social media and data analytics and Google Ads and those kinds of things. But I am on the International Aerospace Group's writing committee for a brand new quality management system standard. And we are writing it as a digital standard from the ground up. It is, and several years ago, I was with one of my colleagues on the writing team, and she asked me, she said, Jim, what do you know about digital standards? And for me, my answer was, what do you mean, PDFs, Word files, what do you mean? And this was a NASA person who said, no, we are trying to migrate toward machine interpretable content with our standards, with our drawings, our specs. And what we're trying to do is go from these PDF files with standards, whether it's ASTM or ANSI or ISO standards, and what we're trying to do is make it machine readable. And what we find is the larger corporations are those that are really driving that and have the software tools and are forcing the SAE and the standard writing committees to digitize and put their content in machine readable formats. What they're trying to do is be better, be faster, be more efficient, be more knowledgeable. You hear the stories about the $5,000 toilet seat, right? Well, why is that from a government contract standpoint? Well, they were flowing down all these excess requirements that really don't apply to a toilet seat. Well, why is that? Well, it's easier just to throw it all into the contract than it is to know and what you need to pull out and what's applicable, what's not applicable. It's just easy to put it all in, and you pay a fortune for this product. So the machine readable content and the machine interpretable content with AI, they're trying to get to not only on the design side, but on the procurement side, being smarter, having better standards. From a design standpoint, if they have better standards, you can have an engineer that says, I just need a fastener, a bolt with this tensile strength, these dimensions, and tell me what the spec is. What's the ASTM or ASME spec for that? And then they can validate that, and the criteria is right there, as opposed to designing a new fastener from scratch, which a lot of engineers like to do, right? This path toward digital transformation is a big one, and we all are interested in the AI hype. This statistic says that by 2028, a quarter of our day-to-day decisions are going to be made through AI. This is the hype cycle that we're in, right? Everybody thinks, oh, AI is going to do all these things for us, and we don't need fewer workers and all that kind of stuff. And that hype cycle, we see where we get this excitement, and then it falls down, and then we end up with something better than we are today. But it's not as big as the hype we think is there, right? So how many of you are with distributors? Raise your hand. Other than distributors, manufacturing, some manufacturing, repair stations? Yeah, okay, good. Anybody I miss from an audience perspective so I can kind of relate? All right. How many of you have a certified quality management system, either ASA 100, ISO 9001, AS 9120, 9110, 9100? Yep, almost all of you. Okay, good. So this chart comes from Rootstock, and it's a manufacturing survey. And last year, they were looking at who's using AI. So who's using AI today and comparing it with results from a previous year. And what we find is that manufacturers are using AI in inventory management with customer service, employee training, process optimization, and quality control are things that we can relate to from a quality management system standpoint in this audience, right? And these slides are all available. ASA's got them already to have available for the package. And then we'll have other examples, AI examples, that we'll also make available. But where are the manufacturing companies going to use AI in the future? And we see quality control going up the list. Quality management systems, quality control. Again, this is manufacturing, but it relates. And what we see are a lot of quality management system software packages, non-AI, document control, record control, corrective action systems, audit management, those kinds of things. That's all either bolt-ons or add-on to existing quality management systems, existing MRP, ERP software systems that you may use. Like with Pentagon, they have those modules, those quality modules. Some of them, most of them are not AI driven or have AI capabilities, but more and more are adding to that and talking to them in the exhibit hall. They all know and understand AI and are working on things, whether it's internal or ultimately external, to try to get ahead of this hype cycle, right? How many of you are using AI today in your organizations? Let's say about a third of you maybe. The interesting thing here is supply chain management, quality systems, inventory management. There's already movement. There's already AI tools that are being used. So I just want to share a quick example of how Airbus is using AI on engineering side here.
So these guys have figured out a way to create a computer algorithm that actually creates structures.
I was very impressed by the amount of savings, specifically fuel savings they would project.
It's so cool, but when you put it on the airplane, you cover it up with some goofy carpet. Just think how much weight they would save if they didn't put the carpet on it.
This district is historically known as a financial powerhouse in New York and America, but it's evolving. Designers and tech innovators are moving into these buildings, and there's one guy in particular whose design can change a whole industry. David?
Hey, Suma.
Hey, David.
How's it going? Come on in. Good timing, actually. This just arrived from Germany, and I want to show you what's inside.
It's a plane.
Yeah, so
very cool.
So this is a project that we've been working on with Airbus, and the idea is to make an entirely new kind of airplane for some of the demands of the future. Mm-hmm. It's designed with the logic of a bird skeleton, actually.
Okay.
In nature, bones form according to organic forces and pressures. It gets strong where it needs to be strong, and therefore you could potentially use less material to make an airplane that's just as strong. We've started already with designing airplane components one by one that could lead up to something like this kind of plane.
Very cool. So what's the first component that you're starting with?
The first component is called a partition. So Suma, can you hit the space bar right here?
Oh my goodness.
This is a different living organism. It's called slime mold.
Slime mold.
And slime mold sends out this pretty dense network of lines, and slowly over time it reinforces the lines that are important and removes the lines that are not important.
So what does this have to do with the plane we just saw?
So here's an algorithm that's modeling the logic of slime mold. And then we use generative design to generate, evaluate, and evolve literally thousands of different design options. And actually, this is the one that we selected for this project.
So David, real talk here. Are we actually going to see these in planes?
This one is being certified to fly in today's airplanes. And if this is rolled out to all the A320 planes flying today, this will save 1 million tons of carbon emissions per year.
Hi, Bastian. What do you do at Airbus?
I'm innovation manager. I'm working for one of the coolest teams at Airbus called Technology Exploration in a lab in Hamburg with a lot of 3D printers.
So David was talking about the bionic partition, and this is all he had to really show me. What else do you got for us?
Well, I have the partition in full scale with me. We had to print 116 parts to accomplish this work. These structures are so efficient that we have a weight reduction of 50% compared to the state-of-the-art partition.
I looked up what 1 million tons of carbon emissions is. It means it's saving the equivalent of 240,000 cars, or 2% of New York City's total emissions per year, just by installing this one.
All right. So pretty cool stuff. How many of you want to take a guess on how long ago this design was developed?
2020.
8 years ago. Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
How much does it use now?
So I believe it's already qualified in flight, and it's a matter of, change out, but and with new 320s. But it's very cool. It's AI at its most advanced form, and not just AI with helping to design, but using other algorithms, the slime mold and the bone growth to add algorithms to the design parameters. And this is being used in so many other different ways. But anyways, very cool stuff. The agenda that I want to cover today is helping you become aware of more of the AI tools that can be used from a distributor standpoint, free tools, purchase tools, give you an awareness of what exists out there. And then what's important is understanding every organization, every company has different levels of maturity of their quality management system. So we're going to talk about that because the AI tools play a role depending on how mature your quality systems are. And then we're going to go through some practical exercise so you can see real life examples of how to use some of these AI tools. All right, sound good? Some of the free tools, how many of you have used some of these tools? Yes, ChatGPT, the Gemini, Copilot. I'll show you some of these as we go through. Is anybody using any of these tools in any cool ways? Yes?
Helps me with corrective actions.
Helping you with corrective actions. Yes, yes. That's going to be my first example. It's great.
Oh, that can work, maybe not. Yes, no, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really, really good at that, and also I'm going to get to that next. I think that for the free tools, that is a great way to use some AI help, the chatbots, in helping us with root cause analysis, potential causes and corrective actions, work instructions.
Give you the draft initially.
Yeah. All right, good. Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah, I've used it as a coaching tool for some employees that do customer service, and they may be presenting the correct facts to a customer, but not presenting in a friendly or professional manner.
Cool.
So, forcing them to use the tool to rewrite their
script. Yes, helping with customer interface and scripts to help be more customer focused and friendly and supportive. Excellent, yes, good. So you get a couple of ideas of how it's being used today, some ideas. For the free tools, if you're using Google and you go up to the top right to the, where the circle is, the red circle, you can see a drop-down box to get to Gemini. On Microsoft Edge, we've got the Copilot logo. That'll drop down a chat Copilot box for assistance. With ChatGPT, you go to the website, log in, and you can start asking away. But there are some problems with the free tools where during high traffic volumes, you might not be able to get on. We have, it's the lower level sophisticated tools that are free. They want you to buy subscriptions to have more computing power, more bandwidth, more ability to upload more documents and do more analysis, deeper analysis, more complex requests. So with the free tools, you run into some limitations. It's okay. I've been able to deal with it. It's all right. So with AI, we have to be careful. It's not perfect. It's not. You ask this question of, if I'm riding a bicycle across a suspension bridge above broken glass and nails, will I get a flat tire? And the answer on multiple free tools is yes, most likely you're going to get a flat tire. That's obviously, that is not correct. And just as another example of the sophistication of different AI tools, I said, okay, here's my slide. This is I need to create an image to put with my slide. You know, I got this image here from ChatGPT, and I said, you know, I asked I asked Claude AI first. I said, you know, create this image, and this is exactly what I typed in, and what it gave me was this. And I said, oh, that is not acceptable. So then I went to ChatGPT, typed the exact same thing into the free tool, and I got this. It's like, wow, that's an amazing difference. And that image really captures what the intent of the text is. First time, really great. So let me introduce maturity levels of a quality management system. And quality management system is AC0056, it's ISO 9001, it's ASA 100, it's the AS standards, 9100, 9110, 9120. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about quality management systems. And we don't have to talk about where we are on the spectrum, but I want you to get an understanding of maturity levels of a quality management system, because it's going to make a difference in the AI tools that you may be able to use and want to use. So we'll start with the minimal compliance. The ownership of the company wants certification because you have to. It's for appearances. They're not bought in. It's the quality manager's job for their compliance to the QMS requirements. Nobody's bought in, and management doesn't really understand or support root cause analysis, and quality manager, go take care of that, right? Just get it done. Get me an ISO cert or an AS cert, right? Maturity level 2, on the procedural side, documentation side, we're more interested in compliance against the requirements, but we have limited buy-in from the process owners. The warehouse manager might not be bought in. Sales and purchasing may not be bought in. It's a fight, it's a struggle. Still quality manager's job, and we see the process owners changing QMS documents without updating the controlled documents, right? So that's maturity level 2. Then we get into level 3 with systemic implementation. We're getting some buy-in from management. They understand the value of a quality management system, so we get some support. But audits are still reactive. They're not seen as a positive tool. It's still very painful for the internal audits and the findings that occur. And then level 4 and 5, we get it up in the maturity levels where it's more well accepted and understood by the process owners, and findings are viewed as positive ways to make improvements for the organization and get better. So you get an idea of the spectrum, all right, of a quality management system. And it's relevant from an AI standpoint, because at the lower levels, there's basic questions that we can use and ask AI to help us with. Things like questions around the quality management system. Gee, I don't understand clause 6.2 well, or I'm in purchasing, I'm a purchasing manager, and 8.4, what do I have to do to comply with 8.4? I don't get it. Those are great Q&A kind of questions that you could ask, or guidance, analyzing processes. We have to develop a process map for the aerospace and the ISO 9001 standards. That can give you help. You talked about findings and root causes and corrective actions. Sometimes you may not get cross-functional support. I can't get support from the warehouse manager on this requirement. Give me some ideas on how I might convince them and talk to them and relate to them. Or purchasing support, purchasing's not bought in, sales not bought in. How do I get some help? And we'll talk a little bit later too, possibly some internal audit assistance. So I want to try some AI tools, and what I'd like to do is brainstorm. What are some other questions that we could ask AI from a quality management system perspective? Anybody got some ideas?
I've had to design a individual development plan, for example.
Design an individual development plan. So for a person, for an individual, a person, we need a development plan for a person. All right, good. So can somebody do me a favor? And I've got some markers on the water container there and some easel pads on there. Can we just write some of these down? So individual development plan. What are some other examples? Yes?
Finding mistakes, like locating wrong, missing paperwork, missing traceability, and mistakes in the list of vendors.
So locating mistakes on paperwork and missing content in paperwork.
Wrongly added vendors to the vendor list, and everything related to compliance
is game. And anything related to compliance is fair game. Yeah, checking suppliers against the approved supplier list.
Vetting requirements?
Vetting requirements?
Yeah. Through whether it's 9100, 9120, IDA, 6171, for example, seeing what the violation might be. Manually, I can just say, hey, which clause is he violating?
It's looking at regulatory requirements, compliance.
I can ask you, what clause is this violating?
Do root cause analysis.
Root cause analysis, yes.
Preparation for audits.
Preparation for audits. What about preparation for audits? What might you ask AI for preparation in an audit?
Let's say if I have if I need any corrective action, if I have any cars, if I have any problems, do I locating what an auditor is doing?
What's an auditor going to look?
Statistically, let's say you're giving him a list of transactions that you had or your inventory checkups, and he's picking randomly something, right? So I want the AI to prepare me for that audit, to prevent me from having those mistakes. Going through all of my records for 2024, for example, I'm preparing ending of 2024, and making sure I have no mistakes.
So this is an interesting. Yeah, that's a dream. Yeah, there you go. That's a dream. So to do that, to have that, I need my data clean, right? I need my data in the same place. I need my inventory data readable and linked with my supplier data.
While the AI is working for me.
Yeah. Yes. What another one?
I was just thinking something as simple as a checklist.
Ooh, checklist.
Just like a step-by-step to prep for.
Checklist. Yes. Yes. So from what we've talked about, I've got some that are prepared that I'll show you, and then we can do some additional ones. So I like this audit preparation, and where you were going was the pie in the sky, the ideal.